Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Todd Williams, Agent Paranormal on Disruption Network.
Hi, Todd.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Well, that just reach out and slaps you right in the face.
Yeah.
Just wonderful.
Boom. Well, like I said, it's Agent Paranormal. I'm going to introduce some people. I got to my left here, I have Rich. Rich,
Yo.
say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
You going to take over the show now?
Yeah. Would you like me to?
I just tossed it to you.
All right.
There's the
All
ball,
right.
man.
Okay. Co-hosting tonight with my friends Chris and Vicky.
Hello, how you doing
Hello.
tonight?
Say hello.
Oh, just hello.
Cool. So it's Sunday night, and we're going to talk about the paranormal, right? Because
Yes.
that's the object of the show, right? That's what we do. So tonight we've got a very special guest joining us, and I'm very, very excited about it. I've been trying to convince her to come onto the show for a while, and she's always so busy with stuff. You know? But somehow I must have found a moment of her time that she was available, and she's
I'm
finally
excited
here.
about this.
So all of us in the paranormal watch paranormal TV shows. And if you go back a ways, the airwaves had like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. They kind of ruled the airwaves. Then all of a sudden the shows just kind of gave out and ended, with the exception of Ghost Hunters. And Zach Bagans had like 18 different shows that he threw out there. And then there was another resurgence, which was awesome. Then we had like Ghost Hunter, and we had Ghost Nation.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, this is coming awesome again. So you go on it, now you can watch all this great stuff. So there's so many paracelebs, as we call them. That's what they are, paracelebs. I didn't coin it. I wish I did, because I would have copyrighted it, I would have trademarked it, and I would have bought it on GoDaddy, paraceleb.com. So, but anyways, our guest tonight is Shari DeBenedetti from Ghost Nation, and also formerly of Ghost Hunters, too, as well. Right. She was on there, too.
Yep.
That's right.
So we'd like to welcome her to the show.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for the invitation for the 100th time that I finally made.
It's 112, but who's counting? Who's counting?
Apparently you.
We were all talking about the hutch behind your head there.
Yes.
It's lovely. We like it.
Everybody loves the hutch.
Yes.
I'm at my parents' house, so
It's a nice
Not me.
hutch. If it ever goes on
nice
Facebook
hutch.
Marketplace, let us know, because the decor would go great.
let me tell you, this set that I'm sitting in is like almost as, I was going to say almost as old as me, and then I was going to tell you how old that was. So it's
Hey.
like almost 40 years old. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's very nice. And the lighting is great, too. Sometimes we get guests on here, it's like dark, and we're like, you can see like their smile maybe, or reflection off their eyeballs or something. And then sometimes it's like a wash where like the windows behind them, and then they're just like a silhouette, and it's so bright. So thank you.
I read the directions. I read the.
Yes.
You sent her directions?
Yes, you got to send everybody directions. Come on.
I'm so sorry, Sherry.
No windows anywhere, but there's like windows all around the house. I'm like, I don't even know where to sit.
It's
so
a
it's just
standard thing. So we get the hutch, though. See, you didn't get the windows, you got the hutch. And
Exactly.
That made you happy.
perfect.
So be
I
quiet.
apologize for Todd's behavior.
It's a standard thing, okay?
He even gave us a dress code, as you can tell. We don't
Sometimes
follow
people
it. so-
forget.
At least I don't. Anyways, tell us a little bit about you. So, one question I always wanted to ask you was, how did you get involved in the paranormal and ghost hunting in general? And it's a great question to ask people, because it's always so interesting to find out why they started and when.
It's sort of a long story. I'll try to, put it down to 20 minutes.
Thank you.
A long time ago, I've always experienced things, but, being young and stuff, I was always kind of like, you see shadows and you hear things and stuff. I kind of always ignored all of that. And, I played with the Ouija board and all that stuff.
Uh-oh.
But I just, I ignored a lot of stuff. And so it wasn't until like my mid-20s where I was living in a house with my parents. And in the first couple of years, there was nothing going on, but all of a sudden stuff just started happening. Like knocking, footsteps, you hear people talking, doors would open up and close, lights would turn on and off, just a lot of things like that. And there was one particular night where I just came home from the guy that I was dating, who is now my ex-husband, We,
We had a chat about ex-husbands before.
Yeah.
and so I just came from his house, and so as soon as I got into bed, something held my ankles. Like you can feel like the hands around my ankles, and went down to the bed. So I leaned up to see what was there, and there was nothing there. But then they took my wrists, and then they put my wrist down to the bed. And then I still picked up my head because I was trying to like yell out to my parents down the hall. But then they put their hand over my mouth and put my head down. And like you can even feel like the fingers, like on my lips, like you can feel like the fingers and stuff. And
Wow.
yeah. And as soon as that happened, there was a full body apparition at the end of my bed that was a doppelganger of my boyfriend at the time. So, so for the first second, I was like, is he here? Like, am I home? Like all these things are going through your head because now he's standing right in front of you when I know I just left him, and all this. So anyway, so he started walking towards me. So it was the same exact hair, body shape, the same clothes. He had like a sweatshirt and sweatpants on. It was exactly what he would, just wear around the house. And so as soon as he came over to me, he bent over the bed and he was just kind of staring at me. So it was just like our faces were, but his face wasn't there. It was kind of like like if you're looking outside in the sky, there's no, like at midnight, and there's no clouds or anything. It's just like that distant black look. Yeah. That's kind of like what his face looked like. Oh. So he just stared, and I have no idea how long because I was just scared, I was just frozen there. Like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't say anything, couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. And then he got up and then he started walking away, and I would hear his like footsteps in the carpet. I heard his thighs, like the walking of the thighs and stuff. And I just saw him walking past the bed. And as soon as I can see like the bottom of his legs, like from his knees down, there was nothing there. And then the door opened up by itself, and then he left, and then the door closed by itself, and then everything came off. Like the whole, like all that pressure just came off. Oh. And so, so then I had to like get up out of the bed. All the lights were on, the TV's blasting for probably about a year after that. Cause I was freaking out. I didn't want that to ever happen again. I didn't want to hear the noises, the footsteps. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to see him. So for a long time, the lights were kept on, and I was whatever was really loud, radio, TV, whatever it was, just because I didn't want to hear anything anymore. But everything else kept going on in the house, along, like the doors would just slam open, like in the middle of the night, and scare us and stuff. One night, my aunt, I live right near Salem. My aunt went into Salem for the night, and so she was visiting from out of town. So she came home. She was like the third step down from the stairs, and my bedroom was right there. My door slams open, and I'm about to yell at her. Even though I know it happens, I'm yelling at her, like why the hell are you opening up the door? And so we're going back and forth. She's asking me about my bird, and she's like, does your bird normally hang upside down? And I'm like, I've never seen it hang upside down. I have no idea. And then, so while we're talking about the bird, all of a sudden the bird's flying around the house. So she just saw it locked up in the cage, and I lock it up every night, and all of a sudden now the bird's flying around the house. I'm like, what the hell? So I had to go downstairs, grab the bird, put her back in the cage. And then my aunt goes into my mother's house to tell her what's going on. And then all these things start flying out of my mother's closet. So
wow,
it's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff for a couple of years.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Trial by fire there. I mean, wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of like with all of those things going on after that particular night of me being held down. I was kind of like, all right, I need to know what the hell's going on. Like,
So that was your childhood home that you grew up there and you were experiencing stuff the whole time? Oh, okay. But you experienced stuff when you were a child too?
Yeah, like, you know, in different homes, we moved around. Yeah, so in a couple of homes there was nothing like that though. You know, you would just see, you know, shadow people and things like that. But in that particular house, and I never got to investigate it because by the time I started actually investigating, we already moved out of that house.
So this happened in multiple households that you lived in.
That
Varying degrees. I mean,
right. Yeah, nothing as bad as that.
It's interesting because would you say perchance that you lived in haunted or homes with paranormal activity, or do you think it was something that could have followed you around from place to place, something attached to you? Now that you know so much more about it.
Yeah, well, this particular house had nothing going on the first couple of years that we lived there. And then all of a sudden it started up. So it was kind of more of a hitchhiker. Somebody brought him home.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's either somebody brought him home or he was just walking by and he decided he liked our house. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that I saw him that one time, and he was a doppelganger of my ex. And my mother saw an apparition almost all the time. But that one, she said it looked like an Abraham Lincoln type beard, you know, hat and stuff like that. So she saw the same thing over and over again. So again, it's like, is it one? And he's just mimicking whoever, like, I don't know, you know, or is it two different ones? I'm not.
To me, it almost sounds like he was like, pay attention to me. I know that you can see me. Pay attention to me. I have something to say. Is almost what it sounds like.
And it might have been, do not marry this guy.
Could have been, right?
So you're an optimist then. the actual ghosts are there to provide you with, and that's. I mean, I've heard stories. Yeah, no, I've heard stories where the experiences that people have been like a message of some sort.
Yes.
And they didn't realize it until after they made the mistake or did whatever that, I should have listened. But who would have ever thought that? I mean, honestly, you almost had like a full-blown like poltergeist kind of thing, like right out of like a horror movie. Yeah. I mean, being pinned down or something like that and then basically have to face that.
It's so weird because like right now, if that was to happen, I wouldn't like it, obviously. And I would be nervous about what it was doing. But then when he left, I'd be like, oh, okay, like I'm okay with it now, you know, like with all this other stuff that I've experienced and stuff, you know, now that I look back to that, I'm like, oh, he really wasn't trying to hurt me, you know, he was just, like you said, like, don't marry this man.
Exactly. It was a message.
It's clear to me. I mean, if he's going to basically look like him and then pin you down and basically scare the Jesus out of you, that's what it sounds like to me.
I was going to follow up that question with, what was your oh shit moment? This is real, but that sounds like it.
Yeah.
That was it right there for sure.
I mean, I've been groped before, but never that. I mean,
well, I mean, that's the other thing is like, we're always, you know, investigating. We're always asking, touch us, you know, so it's like, you know, I mean, you get touched, but now it's like, it's fine because they're asking for them to touch you and everything is fine. You're not being held down. You know, they're not hurting you when they're touching you. They're just, you know, a lot of them are very gentle, you know, you could just like barely feel them and stuff. I mean, just so now I'm, you know, fine with it. But another incident was, oh God, it was another ex-boyfriend.
I'm
sensing a theme here.
A little bit of a pattern.
Oh God. I was at his house, not my house. I was at his house. And and he was going outside to go and have a smoke. So as soon as he touched the sliding glass door to open it up, something like picked him up off the ground and like flung him like this. So it was like, so it was the front of him. So he like went backwards. So he was like up in the sky, up in the air, like maybe, I don't know, like 5 feet or something or whatever. And then he just like kind of like went and like landed, and then he slid past, it was I'm trying to think, like the whole thing might have been like 10 feet or something, because he like went up and then he slid and then he hit his head on the stairs. Like that's what stopped him. And again, that has nothing to do with me. I have no idea, because
Oh, okay.
But at that particular time, like I wasn't afraid, because that had to do with him. Do you know what I'm saying? So like whatever he has going on in his life, you know, whatever it was, that thing was like attacking him, and it wasn't attacking me. So I was fine. I had to run over there and see if he was okay and whatever, but I didn't have that, you know, scared feeling, I guess.
I don't know. These
Sounds like
are
you got
kind of
somebody
oh,
watching
shit
your back.
moments.
Yeah, right?
And you weren't scared. You like you went flying across the air, landing like, you all right? Get up, walk it off.
Walk it off. Toughen up, will you?
Walk it off, boy. So I'm kind of sensing the fact that if we went on an investigation with you, it'd be like we go flying across the room. And you're like,
Yeah,
hey,
right?
you all right? Okay. Did you get an EVP? Did you capture anything? Everybody film that?
Wait, we do that again. Yeah, we do that. No, you know, and that's why a lot of people are just like, you have like no emotion. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why. It's a lot
When
of
you've
stuff.
seen that much, though, and experienced that much, it's kind of
like
desensitizing a little bit, maybe?
Like footsteps, knocking, whispers, like okay, been there, done that. Like, you know, like, I mean, if something was to happen to me and I flew through the, you know, I'd be like, holy crap, you know? But it takes a lot for me to be really, I guess, I don't know, scared, or, you know, I don't know, like worried, nervous. I don't really go into a lot of bad places either. You know, I really don't. A lot of people ask me like, what's the worst? And it's like, those are like my stories. It's like, those are personal things. So it's worse for me when it's personal at my home, things like that. But when I go to other places, I'm not as scared because I don't have to live there, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
yeah,
that's one of the worst experiences you've had in that sense, or
What?
Yeah.
is that one of the worst experiences? I mean, you say people ask like,
yeah,
what's
like
the scariest place you've been? Sounds like
Yeah.
it was your home.
It was really my place.
Home
Like,
watching
that's what,
TV.
yeah, like that's like that's what makes me nervous is, you know, like bad things in my home. But really,
Right.
Mhm.
you know, when I go to places, it's like, well, it's bad, but I can always leave. Like,
Yeah,
so-
Right.
as soon as the sun
Right.
comes up,
Right.
it's time to go.
Yeah.
Right.
So home is sanctuary, so we're supposed to be safe there. I had a hitchhiker one time follow me home, and it took me a couple times to get rid of it, but it was creepy. And, you know, it always happens the most awkward time. You're in bed, you're ready to get that good night's sleep, and all of a sudden the door opens, you know, and all of a sudden you see a shadow or it gets ice cold. Yeah, it's a little unnerving. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I was a little nervous. I was getting to the point where I was angry a little bit, asking it to leave. But after that, I've never had that happen to me again. But again, I mean, if a lot of this stuff happens at home, it becomes very unnerving. Versus, like you said, like I can go to Hinsdale House, and I had an experience there, but I was able to leave and get away from it, and then not worry about it until I went back again a couple years later. So
Sherry, do you do anything for protection? Is there anything you do? Do you, when you go to some of these places to kind of stay away from that?
I mean, I'm spiritual. I'm not like religious, but I'm spiritual. So I believe in my guardian angels and spirit guides and all of them. So I do ask for protection from them.
Sounds like you got somebody protecting you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In the spirit
Honestly,
realm.
all the places that I've been, you know, some people get hurt, some people, you know, don't, whatever. But I don't, and a lot of files are, you know, like, even if they're sensitive or not, it takes a lot for me to like feel anything and experience things, because I don't know if maybe because I have too much protection, like I don't know, but it's just, it takes a lot for me to like really come out with some stuff. And then even when the people are next to me in the same room, they experience things and I still don't experience things. You know, it's weird, but
Well,
yeah, maybe I need to talk to them.
It's different for all of us.
Yeah.
All right, so now you're on Ghost Nation. I mean, you're with Jason Hawes, and I mean, it's quite a team of experienced paranormal investigators. And you come in there, and it's got to be really kind of interesting to investigate with them. I mean, it's got to be a little bit of a grueling schedule. I mean, I actually worked. There's a local place here that wanted to get on TV and get investigated, and I worked with it was John Zaffis at the time for Haunted Collector TV show on Sci-Fi, and I know they were there for like over a week, going in and out like every single night, you know, for a half-hour episode of the show. Yeah. So I can imagine when you're out on the road and you got to shoot like, I don't know, 10 episodes. That's a lot of work and a lot of time. So is it like a repetitive thing, like every night you're going back and forth? Or do you get lucky once in a while and go in and it's like all of a sudden you get an incredible amount of evidence and you're like, okay, I think we're done here. Let's go on to the next one.
How much shooting are you doing for what they show? I mean, they make it look like it's a day or two or a couple of days, but...
Well, with Ghost Hunters, it was 2 weeks at one place.
2 weeks?
Wow. Yeah, we would spend 2 weeks. And in Ghost Nation, we spend a week. Okay. So we'll do as much as we can, investigate every day. But the thing is that in the daytime, we're doing, research and stuff like that. So whatever we catch in our research, then at nighttime, we can use all that information that we found in our research. So even though, day one is great, well, we still need to do day two because we found more information that we can use. And then, so we can have more information. And then there's names that we can use. And then day three, we'll find out more information. So it's just like, we try to do as much research in the daytime. And then at nighttime, we'll try to do the investigation, but we're also switching up partners, and so we'll do that too. But of course, a lot of footage that we have to go through. So all the camera footage and all the recorders and all that stuff. So I mean, that takes up a lot of time also.
Oh, I can imagine. Imagine we go out on a Saturday night for say 6 hours, right, and do one investigation. You imagine going out a week straight to the same place every single night, and get up every day and have to find more information out and kind of walk around and try to get more details, and then you have to go through all the audio recorders and the
it's
pictures.
Definitely a lot more work than most people would even realize. Really,
tremendous amount of work.
It's
right.
The hunt itself can be fun, but the afterwards, all the looking at everything, and that gets tedious.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody because it's just a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of people like just to go out and just do the investigation right then and there, and they don't even think about doing all the after work or the research, get the history or deaths or whatever it is, that we need to find out, and they don't. Yeah. It's
you figure even 5 people on an investigation that's 6 hours long. If each of you got 5 hours audio recorder, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And then got the infrared cameras, you got the the FLIRs, you got everything.
And then they make it look like you were there for like a night.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. The end result of the Ghost Nation shows.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like
busy.
A half-hour episode with commercials is 22 minutes of footage, and people are like, "Wow, I didn't even see them there that night. They were there for like a week.
Yeah.
Right?
How could you not see them?" So on Ghost Nation, what's been your favorite episode so far? Your favorite location to investigate?
What was the name? I think like the mid-Orange County.
Okay.
The
Burn
facility.
Mid-Orange Correctional.
Mid-Orange Correctional.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
because we had a lot going on. That place was huge. We had so much going on. Of course, we had, 4 other members, our TAP members, come in to help us. Yeah. Place was huge, but there was just so much activity, like everywhere. The last place that we were at also, Harrisburg, the Harrisburg Hospital. I'm asking like you guys.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I saw the show. I just can't remember the name of the place.
Yeah. And that was another 2-parter because the place was just so huge. And then we had to have, help with that also. That was a lot. That was, I can't think of the word, residual and intelligent. Thank you.
Right. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Thanks. So that also, both those probably my favorites. I mean, there's a lot. It's, the homes are nice, but like these big places are.
Oh, there's so much
really
cooler. I mean, and come on. When we did like Rolling Hills or any of those kind of places, just so big, and you just walk around. You're there the whole night, and you keep discovering new places. Like we did the Hinsdale. Was it last weekend?
Yeah,
Last weekend.
Last weekend we did the Hinsdale. I've actually been there before. It's a small place, but it's very active. But you can go outside, up in the woods. There's other places besides in the house. And it's kind of cool, but you don't want to go in there a large party. But essentially, when you go to like Rolling Hills, it's like, I mean, we actually got one time where we were lost. We're walking around like, this is the stairway we went down, or is it through the morgue? I mean, it's cool. I mean, a penitentiary would be really cool. Have you ever been to Waverly?
No.
I want to go.
I haven't.
That's definitely on a bucket list.
Yeah, like there's so many places that I know I want to go, and I just.
You're going to Hinsdale, right? You got a show in June, right?
Yes,
Cool.
the end of June, the last Friday and Saturday.
Got a drop on that.
I think Saturday's actually almost sold out. We're trying to,
Nice.
So Friday's getting there. Yeah, I've never actually been there either. So
Nice.
new for me.
There's that.
It's definitely an interesting place. A lot of activity.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's definitely on the bucket list.
It's very, very cozy. So
Cozy.
cozy.
Intimate investigation.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've always walked away from there. I've been there twice, and we've always gotten some type of evidence from there.
Yeah.
So I got a question.
It all depends on the people at the event also.
Yes.
Right.
Sometimes we get some that are not so quiet, and then sometimes we have women wearing heels for some reason. I don't know.
They don't want to be wearing heels there, I'll tell you that.
We got a question from Travis. He's actually one of our team members. He says, do you have a preferred investigation technique?
Good question.
Technique.
Well, I know the answer. I know the
Is
answer.
there a piece of
Bring
equipment?
an ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Perfect. There's something here. He went flying across the room. There's definitely something here.
You're
He's
welcome.
flying.
You're welcome.
That's a great idea. Not really. I mean, a technique. I mean, I usually just go in there, just like how I would go into anybody's home. Obviously, go in, introduce myself, and tell them why we're here. And the equipment I usually like the recorder, and I love the FLIR, and and maybe like the REM pod or something, just to kind of like stick out somewhere, or and then tell them all about the the equipment, and just kind of go from there. I mean, I'm very, this is my tone throughout everything. So, I just to try to make them, feel comfortable and stuff. But I mean, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Okay.
Do you use much of the fringe equipment? And what I mean by fringe equipment, like ovuluses and spirit boxes and things like that?
They don't use those.
No.
You know what? There's with a lot of equipment, they can be manipulated somehow.
Sure.
There's a lot of false positives. So there are some times where, we can use certain things, but then it's just, we don't want to have to question ourselves. It's going to be like, well, is it not? Let's just not use it, because it's not. We don't, we get the answer,
Right.
yeah, this, 9 out of 10 times it's not working. It could work 1 out of 10, but so we kind of just, we don't want to keep wasting our time with stuff that we're not comfortable with.
Right.
Let somebody
with a
else
positive
test it for a few years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're coming out with new things. They want to show more new stuff this year. So.
Oh, good,
Let's hope.
good.
Nice.
Cool.
It was for quite a while. The online ghost hunter shops had a lot of interesting equipment you could buy, and everybody was out there buying stuff. They would go to an event, they would see us with something. What's that? I gotta go buy one. Then they'd order one on Ghost Hunter store or whatever. And then all of a sudden, for a while, it just kind of the innovation just kind of stopped. They could only create so much for a while, and then it was back to the basics: REM pod, the spirit box, EMF, K2s, and now I think they're starting to come up with some newer stuff to detect more things, or maybe put more of those individual pieces into one unit, so you don't have to carry around like 5 different things. I know I've got like a K2 REM pod, an audio recorder, and a spirit box. I'm walking around with this stuff with my hands.
To like.
Yeah, I won't go there.
There you go.
So no, I'll just carry it around.
My hands are so small, and unfortunately, with Ghost Nation, the way that the cameras are set up, it's not the IR cameras, but it's the regular cameras, so they don't see us. So we have to have those big flashlights. So we're always like trying to like set it and forget it. Like we're trying to set it someplace, but they're so big, so I'm like, all right, well, that's this hand. And then I can only do like 1 or 2 maybe on this hand. So I can't, it's hard to go. And then when you do like these really big places and you're in a tunnel for a mile, it's not like you can go back, get different ones and try, so it's,
Right.
Yeah.
want to use for the next 5 hours, that's what you're going to use, so that makes it a little bit difficult, for that.
No, understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Now, so when you started investigating, before obviously you got into Ghost Hunters and Ghost Nation, were you doing homes? Were you part of like a paranormal team that was investigating houses and businesses and things of that nature?
Yeah. So after I had my experience at my house, after that I started doing, like reading whatever I could, researching whatever I could, and then eventually did some investigating with friends, family, wherever you start off with, their homes and stuff. And then we eventually had a team. And I don't know how many years I had that team for, but it was just like I said, I live near Salem. So like in the North Shore of Massachusetts area is where I kind of stuck around. And I did that for years. And then I also went and worked with Paranormal Salem for a little bit. And then for, well, one of the things, I got a divorce, and then another person, something happened to somebody else on my team, and then my computer crashed. So those are my 3 things to say, okay, my team is done. So I ended my team, and then I just started working with other teams in the area, along with Paranormal Salem. And that's about the same time when I got the call from Jason about Ghost Hunters.
Nice.
So I went in right to
You were
there.
freelancing.
Yeah.
Freelance investigator.
Yeah,
Nice.
freelance paranormal investigator.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
So I have a question. Being a female investigator, do you ever feel like that you might have a slight bit advantage when it comes to dealing with spirits of children? Do they seem to be more drawn to you than, say, like the guys?
Not typically children. I think, first, I think it's extremely important to have men and women on a team.
Definitely.
Okay. If it's, it might be a little girl that might want a mother, I don't know, or she might be wanting a dad. So I'm not really sure. I guess it depends case per case.
Exactly.
Maybe they don't, maybe they don't want the mother figure and then they want the father figure. And, because like Jay has children, so he'll go and talk to them. I have children, so I go and talk to them. I think it's a little bit more harder for like Dave and Steve because they don't have children. So they don't maybe have that fatherly sense of them maybe. So it seems like maybe like we would have more of a pull, whether girl or guy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I think that would be more of how it would be, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, like having the women and men, even for adults, like some, grumpy old man might not want to speak to me.
Exactly.
I want to speak to the guys, or, some perverted man might want to speak to me and not the guy, so you just never know who you're going to.
It's basically like dealing with, people in real life.
And living.
You just can't see them. It's all. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes.
yeah. Well, we have a very diverse team. I mean, we're pretty well balanced, males and females, and that was kind of specifically designed because we found through our experience that we'll go in a place and we'll try a male team, and sometimes we won't get the results, and we'll have the female team go in, or we'll have the mixed team, and basically sometimes we get better stuff. I mean, I remember sending one of our team members, Nicole, in to speak with a little girl at a place because I tried and I got absolutely nowheres. Then all of a sudden she came back with some amazing EVPs, because I think she was I think the child spirit maybe felt a little more comfortable with her voice and things like that. Yeah, and me, maybe a man hurt her, and while she was, we try to play on that basically off of real life examples, and we found that it really is a good balance. We get better results that way. So, and that's why we've got Vicky, Nicole, we've got Stephanie, Maeve, and so different people in our team. Sarah, yeah.
And that's why it's good. Like you guys say, like it's like a week long, but just keep switching teams and teams and to kind of see.
Absolutely.
We'll go in there and ask the same questions, but it's just like, well, who are they gonna really respond to?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we do that with investigations. If we're doing it, like say someone has a home and they need some help, we'll send a team in. We'll see what kind of results we get. If it's lukewarm, we'll send a different team in. We'll balance it out and see who comes back with stuff. And we've had a few experiences where the first team didn't really work, the second team just didn't really work, when the third time, and bingo, we got the answers that we were looking for. And and it could be the team members, but it could also be the fact that a spirit finally knows that we can communicate. And here we are again.
Or that you weren't going to give up.
Here we are again. What up?
These guys
You guys are a pain in the ass for crying out loud.
All right, already.
I died. I was born this year. Yeah, I'm haunting these people. Yeah, I want them to leave. Please just leave me the frig alone. Yeah, been there and done that. So, but yeah, I have the same kind of outlook when I go in to do an investigation, just like you. I'm just very the tone is pretty much even keeled. I don't get really excited. I don't get really scared. It's just like, and people are like, well, what's going on, Rich? Is it like haunted? Is it like not haunted? Are you experiencing things? And I'm just like trying to smell, hear, and look at everything. I don't want to miss a beat of anything.
But it's hard when people, if you're asking, oh, make noise, do this, do that. And when, they finally do something, people are like, and it's like, well, what are you doing? First of all, don't be so excited about it because we're asking for it.
Yes.
And they did something. Now you're going to scare them away by doing
freaking out.
Right.
Yeah.
Just relax and, and just talk, yeah.
Right. Yeah, you got to go in there kind of non-threatening, we've worked with some other teams and they're like, come on, demon, I dare you to take a shot at me. And I'm like, I just sit down and go, oh, this is going to be good. Pulling my iPad out on the video. I'm just going to watch this. I don't care if anything happens. I just want to see something happen to him. You know, you're not Zach Bagans. Chill out. You know, and I still this day cannot get. Yeah, maybe you could give us his email address afterwards. We've got a couple events coming up, and then maybe we'll invite him out here for like a free
a special guest.
A special guest at a casino. We'll give him a free night, you know, and he can come do an investigation with us. Kind of like almost like a punching bag or something. Wow, he really did fly off the floor. Oh, now there's blood everywhere. Someone's gonna have to clean that up.
You're right.
Sherry, are there other paranormal areas that you're interested in, like Sasquatch, UFOs, things like that? And have you done anything with that?
No. I mean, I've experienced, like, I've seen a UFO in the back of my grandparents' house a long time ago. I mean, close enough to know that it was, you know, and it was just kind of hovering over. They had a lot of warehouses in back. They had their business in the back. So he was just hovering right over one of the warehouses. And the only reason why we even noticed it is because we were having a party at my grandparents' house, and their dog was in the backyard, and she was just barking and barking and barking. So we, you know, a bunch of us went to go and see what she's barking at. And so, and we all looked up there. So it's probably like, you know, because we kept calling other people out. So probably 10 of us saw it. So it wasn't like just me, but yeah. So like, you know, and this was way back then when we didn't have phones, you know, with cameras.
Camera in your
we didn't have cell phones. Sorry. Yeah, this is way back then. Yeah. So, and then it just kind of, and you couldn't hear it, you know, and then it just kind of like went up a little bit, and then it just shot up, and then it was gone. We didn't see anybody coming in, coming out, or anything, you know. Wow. But
cool. Yeah. So
I definitely believe in that, but I don't, you know, do anything about it.
Gotcha.
I don't go. I am a little nervous of you know, aliens, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's that whole abduction thing, you know, and probed, and I'm not really fond of that. So,
and I don't want to go in the middle of the woods and look for some big hairy guy. So I'm like,
well, if you come to Utica, you won't have to go into the woods look for big hairy guys. They're everywhere here. So, wow, we'll save you the trip. I hope at some point in the future, because we do events that we can bring you here, because it's not terribly far, you know. I mean, if you're East Coast base, versus getting an airplane and flying and all that kind of stuff, we'd love to have you at one of our events.
Where are you guys?
We're based out of the Utica, Rome, Syracuse area.
Central New York.
Okay.
Right in between Albany and Syracuse.
Yeah. I would say when we go to Salem area, it's about 3.5 hours drive, right along the 90.
Because my family's from Schenectady.
Yeah,
so that's
not far.
We're
maybe about an hour.
45 minutes an hour further on the throughway.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
right,
so you're an upstater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that bad?
I don't know. I'm an upstater. So.
We're all upstaters, so so you're good here.
So Ghost Nation is I mean, it's quite an honor to basically to go out and film these locations and do it, you know, basically for a couple different reasons, for entertainment purposes that we see, also for educational purposes to learn more about it. Is that something that you want to continue on? I mean, some people might do it for a little bit and then get out, and some people are like, this is really what I'd like to do. I mean, this is, you know, kind of like it's a great opportunity. It's I mean, is that something that you want to see the direction of you going? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm struggling here. No one's helping me.
No, that's okay.
We're like,
we were just.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
My posse has let me out here, so I'm now waiting to get lifted off the ground 5 feet and thrown into the wall.
How's season 3 coming? How's that?
There you go.
Well, I mean, obviously I can't say much, but we are starting to film some.
Cool.
I don't even know what question you were asking.
That's okay. That's okay.
don't
He
think
doesn't
any of us
either. He doesn't either. That's okay.
Please don't make me
worry about
recite it because I don't remember a
Don't worry
single thing
about
I said.
He doesn't know what he was saying either.
So
None of us do.
basically, he wants to know: are you going to continue to do this as your
right,
career,
It's always been a hobby. My career was, I worked for an engineering firm, but that's not really what, I'm not an engineer. I work with them and stuff. And I did that for like 20 years. And then I went to another engineering firm for like 8 years. That's not where I really want to be. I'd rather be where I am and do my hobby and work with, these amazing guys. It's a huge opportunity. So I'm going to, just investigate with them until.
Is it acting,
Until
Lucky
get
Sherry?
out.
Is it acting, Lucky Sherry?
Is it
I checked out
acting?
your IMDb. I checked out your IMDb. She caught the Lucky Sherry, didn't she?
or? She did.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sorry.
did.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, I did that. That was for a friend of mine. He, oh my God, somebody else was supposed to do that you guys know, but I won't say. So somebody else was supposed to do that, and it was supposed to be like his TV wife, So I just did this like quick little thing. And then it went out, and all of a sudden, it was on the IBMD thing, and then like that's the first thing. I'm like, oh my God! I'm like, I was just helping you out, doing this little weird thing.
It was
I
there.
don't know.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah,
Good old IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing that the hobby, as you call it, you get to actually do that for a living. That's incredible. I mean, I guess basically it's like people used to always say, if you do something you like every single day, you never feel like you're working.
Exactly.
Even though what you're doing is very involved in details and long days and long hours. I mean, typically, do you investigate through the entire night? Right. Exactly.
It depends. It depends. Some nights we will, and sometimes, some nights we won't. So it really depends on the place, how it's going. Obviously, if things are going on, we're not going to close up shop because it's time to let's get out of here.
Yeah.
So it really depends when and what's going on basically.
No, there's no 9 to 5 clock.
No.
Yeah. And sometimes we'll sleep overnight, which, then you're kind of, it depends on how much of a heavy sleeper you are, you're like alert, all night and stuff. And, but no, I love doing it. And it's not like this, it's not like we're doing a show and it's fake stuff. It's we're doing the show, but it's real. We're doing real investigations and we're doing it for real people. And so we're helping the people. So to me, it's not really, it's weird saying that it's on TV, but I'm still not used to that part. I'm still just, here doing what we usually do, even when we're home at a team, this is what our regular stuff is that we do. So this is what we work, and we just have people following us around.
Yeah. So you're not playing it up for the camera thing. You're just doing your thing like you always would.
Yeah. And so it's still weird to me, seeing people kind of like around and stuff. So that is, I see, even though I've started like 2014, I'm still getting used to it. I remember when I first started, I used to like hold the door open for the camera guy, and they're like, "No, Carrie, we're supposed to follow you." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
That's cool.
It's there's some good synergy with the team on the show. There really is some good synergy.
Yeah.
Steve and Tango and Jason have been investigating for so long, so I mean, the show is great. I mean, it truly is. Yeah. And, everything that Jason gets involved with, as far as I'm concerned, turns out to be fantastic. He's got a fondness and a passion for it, Yeah. So
it comes through as genuine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not. You could tell it's not acting. It's not fake. Put on. Like some of them you watch and it's like they freak out and they run and they're screaming and it's like, that's not really reality. Then again, if it is, I don't see them getting very much, actual evidence.
Could be.
Yeah.
So,
is it as exciting to you to debunk stuff, like, especially with Steve? Because when he debunks stuff, he goes bananas. Or is that like kind of a letdown for you? Like, oh, I figured it out. Like, damn, I wish it could have been something else.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind like debunking and trying to figure out what's what. Sometimes it makes me feel a little smart.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I think as long as there's some kind of activity going on, like if you debunk and disprove everything, you're kind of like, okay, so now, we got a week of this? What do you mean? But no, a lot. I mean, most of the places that we go into, we know that things are going on because there was other teams prior to us. Like our UPRO and TAPS teams go in there, they do in the investigation, and they go so far, and it's definitely there's stuff there, so it's kind of like we go in afterwards. So we already know, okay, well, they've already had this happening. So we definitely know that there's activity there.
Right.
And we just go in just to do a little bit more obviously a lot of more research and a lot more disproving things or trying to figure things out. But it's all good. I love everything.
There's probably less of that back in the ghost hunter days, right? I would imagine it was more up in the air.
Because we went in, so we were the first team going in and trying to debunk. I mean, you could just debunk everything and be like, okay, now
what are we doing here?
It could be haunted, and we don't want to say no, it's not. But we just didn't come up with anything. We've been here for
been there
2 weeks. Nothing, and we've debunked, we've disproved, we just so we came up with nothing. At least now other people have gone in there first to kind of say whether they needed help or anything, because they can only go, they only knew how to go so far, and they would just wanted a little help, so they would give us a call.
Well, the show comes across as entertainment to the people who watch it, but you can tell watching the show that it's genuine. People are there basically investigating, like detectives looking for clues and trying to come up with stuff. So they're going in not with the value of, hey, this is entertainment. They're trying to find evidence, and it's you can see that come across when you watch the show, which is, I enjoy. I mean, there's no theatrics. It's just like, boom, let's go in, let's find it.
A lot of it is we want to make sure that the clients are okay. So I think at the end of the day, we just want to make sure, are you comfortable? Like, this is everything that we came up with. Are you comfortable? This and that, and everybody seems comfortable. Obviously we would go back if they're not. But that's the most important thing, for us.
Yeah, it's a great show, and we hopefully will see many more seasons of it to come.
Looking forward to season 3 for sure.
Absolutely. So
definitely
cool. Well, we appreciate you being on our show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shari.
Yeah, spending an hour with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for the stories. You entertained us.
Yeah, just about.
Hopefully we'll see you this far down on the throughway at some point. So.
Well, I'll be in Hinsdale, right?
Oh, yeah.
How far
are you from? It's about
3.5 hours west, south.
Oh, really?
Yeah, southwest. Yeah.
It's actually it's almost.
You could stop here on the way through.
Yeah.
Well, now that I know that, I'm taking a plane.
Yeah.
So you're also going to be at Phenomenology.
Hey, you said it
right.
Very nice. Very good.
Got it.
Yeah. I know.
She actually broke my chops before the show on that one. She called me out because I was having a hard time with it, and she actually called me out.
That's why she gets along so well, because we usually all call you out anyway.
So that's June 3rd to the 5th that you're there. We got that.
So you're going to be busy with events.
Dallas is August.
Oh, okay.
There's going to be a week long for Halloween. I'm not going to be there for Halloween, but I'm going to be there for November 1st, but a week long in New Orleans. I was supposed to be in Ireland, but this year is going to be a week long event. I think it's like 9 nights, 8 days or something. I don't know. There's information on my site, but more information of that is coming out. But yeah, it's a week long in New Orleans. A lot of investigation going on.
And what's the site?
That'd be a cool place to investigate.
What's the website?
Well, it's just under. Well, it's.
I found everything on your Facebook.
Under my name. What I had to do is actually get rid of some of my Facebook things because of issues. So a lot of things. So now I'm just going under my one site. So it says Shari DeBenedetti with my picture, but all the information is under there.
That's where I got. I think we pulled most of these. Yep, in Michigan, Paracon, right? Paracon in Michigan in August.
Yeah, Michigan Paracon.
That's an awesome one, by the way.
A lot of people will be there. Between Dallas and Michigan, a lot of people are going to be at those. And then Vegas in December.
Nice.
Oh, God, awesome. I got to get into paranormal here. I mean, God, we're going to Vegas.
Do you like that scene? I don't want to get too off, and I know we got to wrap it up here, but do you like the cons and stuff? Is that fun for you?
I just like seeing everybody, especially after last year, just to go back and hang out with everybody and stuff, I mean, it's a lot of fun. And meeting people, they're just so happy, like it's just one of those shows. Everybody's so happy and they love meeting you and all of that. So I love meeting people and hanging out with them. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good. But I think a lot of things were postponed last year, to this year. That's why there's so much going on now. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll be bumping into you along the way somewhere, I'm sure. And hopefully we can get you here to upstate New York to do one of our events. So, it was great. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time, and we'll let you go enjoy the rest of your Sunday night.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Shari.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
nice to meet you guys.
Very nice to meet you,
Same
too.
here. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You saying good night, Rich?
I'm saying good night.
All right. We're out of here.
So, good night, everyone. Thank you for
Spare you
another
later.
episode of Agent Paranormal. Have a great one. Bye-bye.